outside the convention hall. In case you need a translation device, there still are a few minutes to go and procure those. And ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I would also like to inform you that these translation devices work only in this room. Dignitaries seated on the head tables have already been provided with translation devices on their tables. Once again, I would like to bring to your attention, ladies and gentlemen, the entry badges. These are round badges which can be worn on lapels. These badges enable entry to this main hall. We would therefore request you to keep them secure. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the International Solar Alliance is now at the venue and he will be here with us in no time. May I request you to please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. The President of ISA is now at the venue and he's going to be joining us in the convention hall. Shri Rajkumar Singh, ladies and gentlemen, the President of International Solar Alliance is now at the venue and he's going to be joining us very shortly. May I request you to please be seated. Once again, I urge all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to please come to your seats. Please be seated. I'm having to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, that the President of the International Solar Alliance, Shri R.K. Singh, is now at the venue and will be joining us at the convention hall any time now. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you to please be seated. May I request you, ladies and gentlemen, to please help us bring the house in order and be seated. The President of the Assembly, Shri R.K. Singh, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be joining us at the convention hall any time now. May I request and urge all of you to please be seated. I urge you to please keep your mobile phones on silent. And ladies and gentlemen, you have been provided with entry badges.
Fiji minister to take the seat here and Nauru minister to take seat here.
Which Fiji and?
Fiji and Nauru.
May I request the Fiji minister and the Nauru minister to please be seated, to please take their seats on the head table here. May I request the Fiji minister and the Nauru minister to please take their place on the head tables. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you. May I request you to please be seated. On behalf of the ISA Secretariat, I extend a very warm welcome to this August gathering to the 5th Assembly of the International Solar Alliance. I request you, ladies and gentlemen, to please keep your mobile phones on silent. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been provided with entry badges, which are round badges that can be worn on lapels. These badges enable entry to the main hall. We would therefore request you to keep them secure. Your entry badges can be transferred to other members of a country's delegation. However, at any given time, only 2 participants per country are permitted in the assembly hall. As for organizations, only 1 participant is allowed in this hall at any given time. If there are more than 2 members of a country present in the hall, we would request 2 members to stay and the other members of a country or organization members to witness the live webcast of the proceedings from the banquet hall of the event, which is the 3rd floor of the hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries seated on the head table will find translation devices on your tables, and dignitaries seated in the other rows have also been given translation devices. By switching channels, you can access several languages. For English, please switch to channel 1. For Arabic, switch to channel 2. For French, I'd request you to switch to channel 3. And for Spanish, please switch to channel 4. May I also inform you that these translation devices work only in this room. Ladies and gentlemen, a very pertinent announcement now. For intervention requests during the assembly, may I urge you to bring your attention to the microphones placed on your tables. You can raise your request by pressing the on-off button on the microphones kept in front of you. The President will announce the name of the country, after which the light on the respective microphone will transform from green to red, allowing the representative of that country to present his or her intervention. Now, to apprise you about the day's agenda, we will begin with the inaugural session now. After the inaugural session, we will break for tea at 10:45 a.m., which is organized at the Hard Court area. At 11 a.m., we reassemble in this hall to deliberate upon agenda items 2 to 15. Lunch will then follow at 1 p.m. For honorable ministers, lunch will be at the Awadh restaurant on the ground floor. For all the other dignitaries, the Hard Court area, opposite the main doors of the room, beyond the exhibition, will be the lunch venue. Post-lunch, we reassemble in this hall at 2 p.m. sharp for resuming proceedings, agenda items 16 to 30. The deliberations come to a close at 7 p.m., followed by cultural events at the Hard Court area, which, incidentally, is also the venue for the presidential dinner. And now, without further ado, I hand over the proceedings to the Director General of International Solar Alliance, Dr. Ajay Mathur. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dr. Ajay Mathur.
Thank you. Thank you all very, very much. I'm honored to welcome all of you to this, the 5th Assembly of the International Solar Alliance. We have come a long way since we last met here in 2019. Unfortunately, because of the COVID pandemic, we did not have in-person meetings, though we did meet through Zoom in the years 2020 and 2021. I will talk later of the initiatives that the Alliance has taken on during the past 2 years. Right now, suffice it to say that your Alliance has been present at a number of events, and I'm sure this Assembly and the ISA will be closely watched by the world as well. I have great pleasure in welcoming the President, Mr. R.K. Singh, the Minister for Power and New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, and the Honorable Co-President, Ms. Zakharapolu, the Honorable Minister for International Partnerships of the Republic of France. Together, they oversee more than 75,000 megawatts, 75 gigawatts of solar installations in the two countries. Their Excellencies will preside over the meetings today. We are also joined by the Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for Sustainable Energy for All, Ms. Damilola Ogunbiyi. Most of our members work closely with the SE for All, and I'm delighted that she has agreed to be here. She has been a close ally of the International Solar Alliance and a fervent supporter of all our objectives. She's a pioneer for all that the ISA stands for. When she was in Nigeria, she spearheaded the deployment of solar mini-grids, of solar home lighting systems, the electrification of educational institutions and hospitals through off-grid captive power solutions. Damilola, on behalf of the ISA and this Fifth Assembly, I welcome you here. The incumbent Honorable Vice Presidents of the ISA Assembly, Honorable Ministers from our member countries, from our signatory countries, from prospective member countries, Honorable Ambassadors, High Commissioners, Honorary Consuls, Excellencies, I'm delighted to see you and your country's efforts, and particularly your support for the International Solar Alliance and its governance framework. I welcome all of you to this Fifth Assembly. I would especially like to welcome those countries who are here for the first time. The Kingdom of Bahrain, the Antigua and Barbuda, the Kingdom of Bahrain, the Kingdom of Bhutan, the Hellenic Republic of Greece, the Italian Republic, the Kingdom of Norway, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Syrian Arab Republic, the Republic of Tunisia, the United States of America, all of whom are here for the first time. We have a packed schedule and a hefty agenda for today. And may I, on behalf of all of you, request the Honorable President and Co-President to initiate the proceedings. Sir, in your hands.
Thank you. Excellencies, Honorable Co-President, Her Excellency Zakharapolu, Ms. Damilola Ogunbiyi, the Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General for Sustainable Energy, the Honorable Vice Presidents of the International Solar Alliance Assembly, Honorable Ministers, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, other Excellencies. I welcome you all to New Delhi and to the Assembly of the International Solar Alliance, which is taking place in person after a long gap of 2 years. The world has changed dramatically over this period as we traveled through an entire economic cycle in this short duration, going from a period of uncertainty to slump, to recovery, and to now green shoots of growth. But we stand together. We stood together. The world stood together throughout this period of crisis, stronger and more resolute than ever before, trying to tackle the challenge of the pandemic as well as the challenge which is ever present, that of the global climate change and the need for a just energy transition. These are the challenges which our organization, which we have come together to meet. The past 2 years have provided us multiple reminders that global dependence on fossil fuels is unhealthy, not just for the environment, but also for the economy. We have seen weather events which are unprecedented, floods at a time when floods were not expected, winters extending beyond all expectations, and forest fires and summer heat, scalding countries which they had never seen them before. Oil and gas prices have soared, leading to inflationary pressures across the world. And the climate change is resulting in catastrophic weather phenomena, ranging from heat waves and drought-like situation in Europe to flooding in Pakistan and to wildfires and severe storm events around the world. The good news is that we have the solutions to counter these, and development in technology is making sure that even more effective resources are made available in the years to come. It is now for us to decide how quickly we can deploy these. Global warming has been the result of more than a century of fossil fuel-driven industrialization. And even at our best pace, it will take us a few decades to make the transition from fossil fuels to non-fossils. The question we have to ask ourselves is, are we doing our best? In pursuit of energy transition, we also have the responsibility for enabling the development in the parts of the world that lack access to energy. Today, more than 650 million citizens of the world do not have access to power supply, and double that number live in cities and communities where the electricity is unreliable and access to energy is unreliable, and brownouts or blackouts are common. Access to energy or energy security is important not just for improving the quality of life, but also for ensuring access to life critical facilities, healthcare, clean drinking water. Most experts agree that distributed generation, primarily powered by the solar photovoltaic systems, is the most cost-effective and the fastest solution. We can, from our experience, tell you that this is so. We have ensured universal access, and it was possible also because we had solar to enable us to set up mini-grids in far-flung hamlets, in the deep Himalayas, where the grid could not reach, or even in the deserts, in the Thar Desert in Rajasthan, the far-flung hamlets, where it was too costly to connect them by grids. We deployed mini-grids, and they work. Most experts agree that distributed generation powered by solar photovoltaic systems is the most cost-effective and the fastest solution. We've experienced that. Money is not the main issue. Financial resources can be made available, are made available. We've seen that when we put in place almost about 170 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel capacity, which is today about 42% of our total established capacity, something which we had pledged that we shall achieve by 2030. But at 170 gigawatts, that capacity which we installed, almost 90% of it has been installed by private investment. So availability of resources is not the issue. The issue, I think, is making sure that the investors have the confidence, that we put in place structures so that the investors have the confidence to come and invest in the generation of renewable energy, in the generation of solar. This also will require a building up of capacities and enhancing readiness to accept and scale up interventions. Now, that is what we are there for. That's why we have come together, so as to support each other on this aspect. The International Solar Alliance's support to its member countries is built around this. The capacity building initiatives, the analytics and advocacy efforts, and the program support are all means to driving holistic development in countries that could lead to creation of strong and sustainable project pipelines. The idea is not just to make the countries self-sufficient in meeting their energy needs, but also to help them put in place systems, structures, such that investments can come and the availability of energy expands to meet requirements as they go up. The International Solar Alliance has come a long way since its formation, and we are moving forward at a rapid pace, thanks to the guidance and support by each and every member of the International Solar Alliance. We are proud to present the updates and the proposals that will be tabled today, and it is heartening to see that we have colleagues from more than 100 countries joining us today to guide the International Solar Alliance in its future endeavors and initiatives. You will be happy to know that the fledgling organization, the first General Assembly of which was held in 2018, is already extending support to numerous countries, both program support, helping put in place structures, guidance, expertise, consultancy. All that assistance is already going out. I am extremely glad that Mr. Damulola could join us on this momentous occasion when the International Solar Alliance Assembly is convening in person after a long gap to make decisions on some remarkable initiatives. I welcome her once again to International Solar Alliance Assembly. I invite Her Excellency, Ms. Zacharopoulou, for her address as the co-president of the Assembly.
Honorable Minister of Power and New and Renewable Energy, Director General, Mrs. Special Representative of the UN's ministers, colleagues, I'm very happy to be here with you today and to co-chair our assembly with Minister Singh. I want to thank the Secretary of the Solar Alliance who have made this meeting possible. France deeply believes that this International Solar Alliance is a key initiative for global action against climate change. Since its launch in 2018 by Prime Minister Modi and President Macron, France has been very proud to co-chair the International Solar Alliance with India. The alliance has made constant progress towards being an efficient, results-oriented international organization. We are meeting today at a key moment for global climate efforts and energy issues. First, because COP26 has opened a new cycle, one of increased ambition and, most importantly, implementation. What we need now is concrete, urgent actions if we truly want to maintain global warming under 1.5 degrees. And solar energy will play a key role in facing this challenge. Second, because as we all know, this is a crucial time to act on global energy matters. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine has led to an energy crisis in many EU countries and beyond. We are facing a double emergency. We need to save energy and we need to save the climate by phasing out our dependence on fossil fuel. In response to the global energy markets transition, the EU has already taken decisive steps, and the renewable energies are at the heart of our response. In May of this year, the European Commission proposed the Repower EU plan. One of its key pillars is to accelerate the rollout of renewable energy. An EU external energy strategy was also adopted to build long-term partnership, including on green technologies, in order to collectively improve energy efficiency and accelerate our transitions. In France, President Macron has made the development of renewable energies one of our key priorities. A new national energy planning exercise will be launched next year and confirm this direction. In September, our government presented a draft law to accelerate the production of renewable energy. On solar energy, our objective is to multiply our production by 10 in 2050 to reach 100 gigawatts. To do so, our measures are based on 3 pillars: simplified procedures to deploy more renewable energy projects, mobilizing abandoned or degraded areas to increase installation surfaces, and better sharing the benefits with local territories and citizens. We believe solar development will bring about not only energy security, but also industrial development, job creation, and improved public finances. And we know that for many countries, solar power is already the best solution for large-scale and affordable deployment of renewable energy. This is the reasons why India and France jointly launched the International Solar Alliance in 2015. Since then, its success has been based on strong political commitment and tangible initiatives, making solar energy a very competitive source of energy in every region. There is a proof that the alliance is working. 107 states have already signed the framework agreement and 87 have ratified it. Our Solar Alliance is active on the ground and expands its programs worldwide. And I would like to welcome the new members this year, including several from the European Union. And I want to stress that France is particularly supportive of 2 of the Alliance priorities. First, on capacity building through the STAR-C program in partnership with UNIDO, we aim to create a solid network of expertise and training centers. And our contribution of €1 million to this STAR-C program is now leading the project to be implementing, focusing in the first phase on 3 pilot countries: Senegal in West Africa, Papua New Guinea in the Indo-Pacific, and Bhutan in Asia. Second, on access to finance. At the ESA launching summit in 2018, French President Emmanuel Macron pledged to mobilize €1.5 billion to finance solar projects around the world, mainly through the French Development Agency. I am pleased to inform you that €1.5 billion have already been committed by our development agency towards concrete projects worldwide, including €1 billion in ISA signatory countries. There are concrete projects that make huge differences in multiple countries. In Benin, the Defisol project combines solar power plants and grid management. In Haiti, we have supported the deployment of photovoltaic street lamps in the Palms region. In Mauritius, we have financed solar desalination in Rodriguez. This project illustrates illustrates the multiplicity of use for solar energy. France also supports risk mitigation to promote increased access to financing. It involves, in particular, leveraging private sector's investment in solar energy, even in underdeserved regions. Under the Alliance Affordable Finance and Scale program, our agency has participated in the launch of the Solar Risk Mitigation Initiative, which is actively being implemented. Ladies and gentlemen, solar energy is fated to play a central role in the near future, and we can already see the momentum accelerating. This alliance will play a crucial role. Our ESA project must contribute to just energy transition around the world. And let's never forget the word just, and always bear in mind the social consequences of our transition to make them fair and affordable for all. The COP27 under Egyptian presidency will give us the opportunity to reaffirm our ambition and accelerate the development of solar energy. India's G20 presidency will too, and France looks forward to working with all of you, particularly on the LIFE initiative for sustainable ways of living, which resonates so well with our own concept of energy sobriety. Today's assembly is a unique occasion to move forward on key issues, and I'm sure we'll have a very productive day. France is very honored to take part in this alliance, and we look forward to achieving great progress with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you. Now I invite Her Excellency, Mr. Damola Hugenby, the Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General, to deliver her address.
Thank you, Minister. Excellencies and distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to be here. I want to first thank Dr. General, Dr. Mator, for inviting me to address all of you at this assembly of the International Solar Alliance. I also want to thank and acknowledge the excellent leadership of the Honorable Minister J.K. Singh, the President of the ISA Assembly, as well as the Honorable Minister, the co-president of the ISA Assembly here today from France. The ISA's work in supporting and advancing the solar ambitions of member countries has seen tremendous success over the last few years, and I'm sure we will hear more about it during the course of this assembly. As CEO and Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for Sustainable Energy for All, my mandate is clear. I lead the work of Sustainable Energy for All, where we have partners with governments, philanthropy, development finance institutions, and the private sector to ensure that the global delivery of Sustainable Development Goal 7 in a way that is just and equitable and make sure we leave no one behind. This includes ensuring universal access is affordable, reliable, and modern energy services, increasing the share of renewables in the global energy mix, and doubling the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. Energy lies at the heart of the Sustainable Development Goals and part of the 2030 Agenda. Therefore, ensuring universal access is imperative for development outcomes such as job creation, economic development, food security, gender equality, improved health, and education, just to name a few. But unfortunately, in the most recent Tracking SDG 7 report, it shows that we remain far off track from achieving universal access to clean and affordable energy by 2030. We still have 733 million people that live without electricity and 2.4 billion people that live without clean cooking, which just shows how important the role of ISA is in this task that we have. At the current pace of movement, by the end of the decade, we will still have 670 million people without electricity and 24% of the global population living without access to clean cooking solutions. Moreover, our climate goals and our clean energy transition will be impossible unless we achieve SDG 7 by the end of this decade. While several regions have made progress, and several countries have made progress, as we've seen India getting to a state of complete electrification, energy access and scaling up renewables, there are different conflicts that have hindered the growth and a lot of our hard-won success, especially in energy access. And the pace of delivery of renewables is suffering due to supply chain challenges. African countries, however, have not made nearly as much progress and are often facing the brutal effects of climate crisis and energy poverty. The African continent, of which I am from, is willing and is ambitious and has tremendous potential for renewable energy and solar energy, but requires support from the global community, especially financial support. in order to successfully transition into a clean energy transition that actually brings billions of people out of poverty. There's a chronic lack of investment in the clean energy sector in developing countries, especially on the African continent. And this must change, and this must change now. And I'm sure through your deliberations, you will talk about the equity in financing. This is essential not for millions of people in vulnerable communities who are faced with the severe impacts of climate change, but also in terms of energy poverty. We must get to a point where we are focusing on three main issues: energy poverty, climate change, and economic development together. Solar power is available, and it is feasible to lift billions of people out of energy poverty and also decarbonize our energy sector. But we need to scale solar deployment rapidly in developing countries. The ISA is a critical international partner in ensuring that we meet our goals. As an intergovernmental agency, the ISA's work is crucial in accelerating solar energy adoption through technology demonstrations, policy and regulatory frameworks for affordable financing, and building human capital. At the UN High-Level Dialogue on Energy last year, we launched the UN Energy Compacts, and I'm delighted that the ISA submitted its own compact committing to contribute to SDG 7 through global solarization, with specific focus on facilitating access to clean energy for vulnerable communities in the LDCs and the SIDS. And this should be done by deploying almost 1,000 gigawatts of solar capacity and mobilizing $1 trillion by 2030 towards solar investment. I look forward to ISA to make sure these commitments come into action, but everybody around this table should also be making sure these actions are actually done. I'm delighted to note that ISA support demonstrational projects on issues of great consequence and significance to developing countries, such as solar appliances for agriculture, scaling solar mini-grids and solar rooftop, as well as e-mobility and green hydrogen initiatives. We need to support scale-up of such demonstration projects throughout the ISA member states, as this is critical to building capacities on technology knowledge, understanding of policies and regulations, and creating market mechanisms and localizations of manufacturing value chains. We at the UN and also at SE4 are partners in this endeavor of supporting countries navigate their energy, climate, and development priorities in an integrated, evidence-based manner. Please accept my highest assurances of our support to your countries in developing your energy transition plans that are just, inclusive, equitable, and they talk about the realities of your countries. They take in consideration the whole of the economy approach and allow your domestic priorities to be balanced with your international commitments. We cannot have a clean energy future without investing in people and vulnerable communities. And I commend the effort of ISA towards capacity building for tomorrow's solar energy workforce. We offer our support, especially to mainstreaming gender, training women in the energy workforce. Further, to complement a ready, skilled workforce, there is the need for market readiness to attract capital at scale. This resonates with ISA's focus on mobilizing capital in large volumes. However, it is also important for many countries here today to participate more fully in global markets. It is for this reason I'm focusing a lot of my efforts on developing mechanisms for developing and emerging economies to participate more fully in the global carbon markets, to act as suppliers of credits to meet the demand for both compliance and voluntary markets, so the global carbon finance can flow into your countries and pay for your energy transition. I also commend the ISA for its pioneering work in the sector, especially the innovative Green Grid Initiative, the One Sun, One World, One Grid, launched at COP26 based on Prime Minister Modi's vision, which will be a game changer in decarbonizing global energy systems and providing affordable electricity for growth. Lastly, I want to thank the ISA for being a strategic partner in raising ambition and accelerating action for sustainable energy for all. SE4 sees the work of ISA and its member state as an important effort towards leaving no one behind. Finally, I'd want to thank the ISA presidencies and the DG for their warm hospitality, and I wish the ISA's 5th General Assembly every success. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm happy to inform you that with the assistance of the International Solar Alliance, many of our members have already started putting in place projects, solar projects, for power, bringing electricity for health, for education, etc. Today, I call upon 3 such countries to brief us about the projects which they have put in place or which they are in the process of putting in place. I believe those projects are now ready for dedication to the people. So I call upon the delegation from the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Vice President of the Assembly, the head of the delegation from Jamaica, and the head of the delegation from the Togolese Republic to brief us about these projects and the status of these projects. This is with the assistance of the International Solar Alliance. This is an example of the International Solar Alliance actually putting capacities on the ground. Excellency, from the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and the Vice President.
Can we have him on video, please? The Honorable Minister for Guyana,
located on the north coast of South America, is a diverse Guyana, located on the northern coast of South America, is a diverse country with a growing economy, pristine forests, and other natural resources. Guyana depends on imported fossil fuels for its energy needs, resulting in high fuel prices and electricity rates. High energy costs impact households and operating costs for businesses, and poses even more of a challenge for hinterland communities, dampening efforts for electrification and energy access. However, the sun has come to the rescue, improving access to electricity in hinterland areas through solar photovoltaic systems. The use of this solar PV technology forms part of Guyana's recently updated low-carbon development strategy. The strategy focuses on investing in clean energy for future growth through an affordable, stable, and reliable energy system for Guyanese and by extension the world. This is being achieved by advancing a sustainable energy transition through an energy mix of hydropower, natural gas, solar, and wind. Funded by the government and key international partners, these projects lead to more than 500 megawatts of new power. One such project, funded by a US $50,000 grant from the International Solar Alliance, was the installation of a solar PV system in Oriella.
This is a 9 kilowatt facility with a 37 kilowatt BESS system allocated to that station. This is a scaled initiative that can expand throughout Guyana in terms of other far-flung communities that need energy.
Oriella is a small developing indigenous community approximately 40 miles from Crabroot Creek, Quarantine, Berbice. The village is mainly accessed by river.
In 1925, Oriella started, the village itself, just with a handful of people. It's a place made up of Arawak and Warao, originally. And then we had a few like Caribs. And then like 10 years ago, then we started to intermarriages. It never used to be like that before. We have like 1,200 people in population. That's Oriella by itself. We have a school with like 400 plus pupils. We have 9 teachers. And we have the health center with the doctor.
The entire village is powered by a small diesel generator.
Well, the diesel is quite expensive and we got to send out with boat and things like that, so it's kind of rough.
Rationing electricity at the 24/7 Oriella Health Center, which also serves the small indigenous village of Siparuta, affected patient care.
In the nights also, because of the small solar system that we had before, we would have to sterilize instruments, and we would have to do that in the day because the energy supplied by the old solar system was not enough to power the autoclave. But the autoclave is basically a sterilizing machine. We use it to sterilize instruments. And if I'm to have back-to-back patients that need instrumentation, I would need to resort to aseptic or antiseptic solutions to sterilize those instruments in the night. Also, the ultrasound machine, now with the solar system that we had before, the current used to fluctuate. So because those machines are expensive, we would need the village current to be put on.
In cases of emergency, flashlights or even phone lights were used to tend to patients.
Because in the night coming here, most of the times we work with torchlights.
Now, with the new solar system, patient care and staff comfort are much improved. And because of the amount of power being generated, there are big plans to do more.
The resource of having light would actually help what we're trying to do, which is giving the best patient care possible.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, and we congratulate you. And Your Excellency, it's clips like these, visuals like these, which will inspire us to work harder, will inspire the International Solar Alliance to work harder to roll out projects throughout the membership. Thank you so much. And Excellency, your country is beautiful.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much, DG. Nice seeing you again, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. Now, now we have the Excellency from the Togolese Republic. Thank you, Your Excellency, and we wish you are here. We look forward to welcome you.
Me too, Mr. President. I must apologize to the entire Assembly for being here.
It doesn't matter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Togo?
Eight agricultural sites in the Republic of Togo have benefited from a grant of the International Solar Alliance. Solar irrigation pumping systems were installed on these sites. Some beneficiaries of the project share their satisfaction.
Mon nom c'est Gabriel David.
I am Gabriel David, a farmer on the agricultural site of Wakambu. We were facing a lot of difficulties in accessing water for our crops and animals, especially in the dry season. But with the installation of the solar pump, we will now be able to irrigate our crops all year round, and our animals will no more migrate to other places due to the lack of water. We are both farmers on the agricultural site of Chabdawon, and we are very happy with this solar system. This gift will permit us to have our own garden to grow tomatoes, pepper, onion, and other crops, especially in the dry season. In all 8 localities, the beneficiaries are happy with their installations. They say the income from selling their agricultural products will help them pay for the school fees and school items of their children. The beneficiaries, however, wish to have additional solar pumps in order to cover the vast area of their agricultural sites.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I believe Togo is present here. Would like to brief us about this project?
Thank
Togo?
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Excellency, President of this highest assembly, Excellency, the Director General of ISA, distinguished representative from ISA member countries. I'm Robin Nasoma, representing the Ministry, the Minister of Energy and Mine. On behalf of Togolese government, I wanted to express my gratitude to the ISA Secretariat and President for taking the initiative to develop the demonstration project in developing country. Togo has successfully installed 8 water pumping systems for 8 localities, and each pump has like capacity of 1 horsepower. And this program has been very great for us because the pump has been installed in a region where we've been facing like highest situation of terrorism. So we installed all the 8 pumps in Savannah region, and Savannah region is, let's say, is a very dry region where water is a big issue. People don't find water to do their agriculture. So what happened is, since they don't have water, they migrate to other regions and leave their lands. So this program helps us to keep people on their land and grow their agriculture so they could have more crops and more income for their family. And then the biggest issue here is since the last 2021, we've been facing terrorism in our region. Normally Togo, we don't have this kind of issue, but this year or last year it started. So people from Savannah region are the one facing this issue, so they migrate. So this program help us to keep them on their land and then keep on doing the agriculture. Without this, all of them being afraid of they don't have money, and then they are facing highest terrorism or highest issue. Is very difficult to have them sitting or living in their region. So this is a very grateful and very great program for us, and on behalf of Togolese government, I wanted to thank ISA for implementing this program in our country. The way we implement this program is that it's run on the revolving mechanism. The Ministry of Agriculture initiate a program where it's like, this is even though this is a grant from ISA, we have an account of revolving. So they will pay back this pump system with by selling their crops, and then it will help us to have more pumps in the future. So on behalf of the Togolese government, I wanted to thank ISA for initiating this program in my country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. This is just the beginning. I mean, this is just the beginning. The International Solar Alliance will roll out numerous projects across the member countries. This is just the start. Now I call upon, would you like to say something? Now I call upon the Excellency from Jamaica. We have a project in Jamaica.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the Government of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica at the 5th Assembly of the International Solar Alliance. As Jamaica's Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, I'm delighted to join this significant meeting of the minds being hosted by the ISA. The government of Jamaica is grateful to the ISA for providing $50,000 in funding for the completion of a 30 kilowatt solar retrofit of the Little Park F3 solar pump station in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. I'm aware that this funding provides the opportunity for the National Irrigation Commission to self-generate energy using the newly installed ground-mounted grid-tied solar PV system. The solar retrofit will allow the NIC to generate 4% of the total energy requirement for the facility, thus reducing NIC's energy bill by approximately $9,500 annually. Additionally, this investment will lower NIC's water production cost and allow for more reliable service delivery to the approximately 400 farmers who will benefit from the solar upgrade. I'm delighted that Jamaica is also the first member state to complete a project under the ISA initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Jamaica recognizes the importance of energy security and efficiency to our socio-economic development and climate change mitigation efforts. Energy undergirds every facet of our society, and as we seek to build out a climate-smart and resilient agricultural sector, the use of renewable energy is paramount to achieving cleaner and smarter agricultural systems. This project is directly in tandem with not just our National Development Plan Vision 2030, but also the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals relating to the affordable and clean energy, climate action, and industry innovation and infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica takes pride in doing its part in mitigating the far-reaching effects of the ongoing climate crisis that is already causing devastating and irreversible damage globally. We look forward to the continued partnership with the International Solar Alliance for more sustainable development projects, and it is my hope that you will have a successful conference. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you. We have a number of more projects which are under construction. We have a number of more projects, large number of projects which are under construction in different countries. So as they come to completion, we'll be able to see some clips of those in the following sessions. But as I said, this is just the beginning. We plan to put in place mechanisms which will ensure that these are replicated on a large scale. We worked out those mechanisms. We'll share those mechanisms with you. What we want is for you to join in to make sure that electricity is made available to the farmers, to the people of all these countries which need access. I believe the Excellency from Jamaica would like to brief us about something. Jamaica?
Yes.
Yes.
Honorable Ministers in attendance, President of the ISA, Chair, Co-Chair in their capacity as President and Vice President of the Assembly, Excellencies, Director General of the International Solar Alliance, diplomats, delegates from member countries, observers, partner organizations, and the team at International Solar Alliance Secretariat, Namaskar. Greetings on behalf of Jamaica in the name of the Sun, the Most High, as we say. You've heard from the Honorable Minister Darrell Vaz, and he conveys his regrets of not being here at this all-important Fifth Assembly due to the timing of the event. Seeing the tremendous turnout here that is here this morning, it is clear that many countries share the view of the critical importance and role of this organization. All of you here today represent a commitment to achieving sustainable energy security, along with which will come multiple and collective benefits for humankind and the future of life on our planet. Jamaica also wishes to recognize and to commend the leadership role that India, host of the ISA headquarters and co-founder, along with France, has undertaken in this very discourse addressing global challenges of greener energy, sustainability, and resilience at a time when action is crucial to our survival. As you've heard, this 30 kilowatt system installed in Jamaica represents 4% of the total 350 kilowatt photovoltaic system capacity planned for this pump facility. And it serves as a model for many other similar initiatives which we hope to implement and which we certainly look forward to learning and sharing with other member countries, collaborating, collectively building capacity, fashioning solutions, and delivering positive impact. Synonymous with alliance is partnership, and Jamaica, as a small island developing state with a particular set of challenges and vulnerabilities, highly values this partnership, which will contribute towards the achievement of our own goals for the use of efficient, environmentally friendly and sustainable energy, and the overall reduction of our consumption of fossil fuel, as well as the employment of climate-smart agriculture. There's an old Cuban saying, and I see my Cuban colleagues here, and Bob Marley often used it. It says, when the sun rises, it rises for everyone. Like a Bob Marley lyric, it carries multiple meanings and speaks to so many different things, but it has a poignancy here this morning in this gathering of nations, echoing equality and opportunity. May the International Solar Alliance see even greater membership and footprint, and may we concert among ourselves to get what we need to get done to see this through to clean, sustainable, and secure energy and achieve our development goals. One grid, one love.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. As I said, this is just the beginning. We have plans to roll out solar on a massive scale. The plans will be presented to you. Fundamentally, what we propose is that we will put in place a payment security mechanism, we will put in place an insurance mechanism, investments will come from the banks, from the financing institutions, both for private sector as well as for government. The investments will come. We'll put structures in place to realize tariff so that the investments are paid for, are repaid. So we are putting in place structures. Now we invite you. The International Solar Alliance invites all its members to participate in this, not only be a bystander, but participate in this by contributing to these funds. Now these funds, if you contribute, they will be like interest-free loans, and you will be helping a large number, you will be helping 800 million people who don't have access to energy. That's what you will be doing. Anybody else on this agenda? Then we proceed to the next. The next item is the adoption of the agenda. The provisional agenda has been circulated to all the members.
Do we want to break for photograph and coffee before we take up the adoption of the agenda?
Let's do this. Okay. And then we have to break at what time? 10:30.
Yeah.
Huh? So after this?
Okay.
Yeah. The provisional agenda has been circulated. I believe everybody would have received it. Do we have any comments, or do we adopt it? Any suggestions, comments? So adopted?